We are taught here in the West that we're made in the image of the Creator, or to put another way, of course, there's the beautiful Hermetic principle, as above, so below. You've probably heard the phrase, as above, so below before. It feels ancient and mysterious, but what does it truly mean? Why has this principle endured through the centuries? Whispered in mystical circles, written in ancient texts, and etched into the hearts of those who seek deeper truths, it is not merely a poetic saying. This is the key to understanding the universe and, more importantly, your place within it. Ready to find out what it truly means? We're connected with everything. Imagine standing beneath a vast star-filled sky. Each twinkling light is a reminder of how small we seem, yet somehow we feel connected to it all. That connection is no coincidence. The ancients believed that what happens in the heavens mirrors what occurs on earth and within us. This idea is woven into many spiritual traditions, from Hermetic teachings to Eastern philosophies. It tells us that the microcosm and macrocosm are reflections of one another. The universe outside of you is not separate from the universe within. This principle first appeared in the Emerald Tablet, an ancient Hermetic text attributed to Hermes Trismegistus. It states, "That which is below corresponds to that which is above, and that which is above corresponds to that which is below, to accomplish the miracle of the one thing." These words hint at a secret unity, a oneness that binds all things. No matter how far apart they may seem, the stars in the sky, the cells in your body, the rhythm of the tides, and the beat of your heart are all connected. This truth has always been with us, but layers of modern conditioning have dulled our ability to see it. We have been taught to compartmentalize life, to see ourselves as separate from the natural world, from the cosmos, and even from one another. But this separation is an illusion. Ancient civilizations understood this interconnectedness deeply. In Hindu philosophy, for example, the Upanishads speak of Brahman, the ultimate reality that pervades everything, and Atman, the individual soul. They teach that the soul is not separate from the divine, but is a reflection of it. The mantra Tat Tvam Asi, you are that, is a reminder of this truth. You are the universe, and the universe is you. This understanding also exists in the teachings of indigenous cultures. The Lakota people speak of Maku Osin, which means all my relations. It is a recognition that all things, humans, animals, plants, stones, the wind, and the stars are interconnected. This belief is not just poetic. It informs how they live, with reverence for the earth and an understanding that harming one part of creation harms the whole. As above, so below challenges us to shift how we perceive reality. If the heavens reflect the earth, and the earth reflects the heavens, then the chaos we see in the world is not separate from the chaos within. The wars, divisions, and environmental destruction, all of it mirrors the disconnection within the human spirit. But the reverse is also true. Healing within leads to healing without. Consider the movements of the planets. Astrology, one of the oldest sciences, operates on the belief that celestial bodies influence life on Earth. This isn't just superstition. The moon's phases, for example, affect the tides, and many people feel shifts in energy during a full moon. What if these movements are not just external phenomena, but reflections of internal cycles? The waxing and waning of the moon can mirror the ebb and flow of your emotions. The retrograde motion of Mercury can reflect a time to pause and re-examine your communication and thoughts. The principle also applies to your own body. Have you ever noticed how your breath mirrors the cycles of life? Inhaling, receiving, and beginning, exhaling, letting go, and ending each breath is a reminder of life's dualities and its rhythm. Even the patterns of your heartbeat resemble the cycles found in nature: expansion and contraction, creation and destruction, life and death. Alchemy, the ancient art of transformation, is rooted in this principle. The alchemists sought to transmute base metals into gold, but this was not just a physical pursuit. It was also a spiritual one. To the alchemists, the external process of transforming matter mirrored the internal process of transforming the self. The gold they sought was enlightenment, the realization of oneness with the divine. Learn to see the divine in the mundane. This is where the true power of as above, so below lies. It is not just a state about the universe. It is a call to action. It invites you to see the divine in the mundane, to recognize that your thoughts, emotions, and actions ripple out into the cosmos every time you choose kindness over cruelty, understanding over judgment. You are aligning with the harmony of the universe. In one Sufi parable, a seeker asks his teacher how to find God. The teacher replies, "Look within, for the truth you seek is as much in your heart as it is in the heavens." This mirrors the essence of as above, so below. The divine is not far away. It is within you, around you, reflected in every leaf, every star, every drop of rain. But why is this understanding so vital? Because it gives you agency. If the universe reflects you, then by changing yourself, you can change your world. When you heal your inner wounds, you contribute to the healing of humanity. When you act with love, you add love to the collective consciousness. The smallest act, when done with intention, has the power to ripple through the cosmos. As above, so below is not just a phrase to ponder. It is a map, a reminder, and a call to wake up. It asks you to see beyond the surface, to look for the connections, to honor the unity in diversity. It challenges you to step out of the illusion of separation and into the truth of wholeness. To learn even more, we can look to a philosopher who bridged the spiritual and the earthly, Giordano Bruno, born in 1548. Bruno was an Italian thinker whose ideas were far ahead of his time. He believed in the infinite nature of the universe and the interconnectedness of all things. Though his life ended tragically because his views challenged the authority of his era, his wisdom continues to inspire those who seek truth beyond the surface. Bruno's vision of the cosmos was revolutionary at a time when many people still believed the Earth was the center of everything. He argued that the stars in the sky were not just lights but suns, each surrounded by their own planets. He even suggested that these planets might hold life. To him, the universe was endless and alive, a boundless reflection of divine creativity. This idea connects beautifully to as above, so below. If the universe is infinite, then so are we, for we are part of it. Bruno didn't stop at the physical universe. He delved into the spiritual dimensions of existence, seeing the cosmos as a living, breathing entity filled with divine energy. He believed that every part of creation, no matter how small, mirrored the whole. A single leaf might contain within it the essence of the entire tree, and even the essence of the universe itself. This perspective mirrors ancient Hermetic principles and resonates with the idea that the microcosm reflects the macrocosm. Divinity is everywhere. One of Bruno's most powerful ideas was that divinity is present in everything. He saw God not as a distant being but as the force that animates all existence. This is a deeply liberating thought, suggesting that the spark of creation is not only in the heavens but also in you. Every thought, every choice, every action you take is a piece of that divine dance. Bruno's philosophy also emphasized the power of the mind, believing that human beings had the ability to connect with this divine energy through imagination and contemplation. To him, the mind was like a mirror that could reflect the cosmos. By understanding ourselves, we could understand the universe, and by understanding the universe, we could understand ourselves. This is as above, so below in action, the exploration of inner and outer worlds as reflections of one another. The courage Bruno showed in sharing these ideas is just as inspiring as the ideas themselves. He lived during the Renaissance, a time of great curiosity, but also great control. The church, which held immense power, saw his views as dangerous. Despite this, Bruno refused to conform to the rigid beliefs of his time, even when it meant facing persecution. In 1600, he was burned at the stake for his heresies, but his spirit and teachings lived on. Bruno's life serves as a reminder of the cost and value of seeking truth. He understood that the path to wisdom often requires letting go of what is comfortable or accepted. Bruno saw that the universe was vast, mysterious, and filled with potential, and he encouraged others to see it too. His courage invites us to do the same, to question, to seek, and to trust that the truth we uncover will set us free. What makes Bruno's philosophy particularly relevant today is its focus on unity. He saw no separation between science and spirituality, between the physical and the divine. To him, all things were connected in a world that often feels fragmented. This vision is deeply healing, reminding us that the divisions we see are illusions and that at the heart of everything is a profound oneness. When we look at Bruno's teachings through the lens of as above, so below, we can find practical wisdom. If the mind is a reflection of the cosmos, then aligning our thoughts and intentions can create harmony not only within us but also in the world around us. If the divine spark is present in all things, then every moment is an opportunity to honor that divinity, whether through kindness, creativity, or simply being present. Bruno believed that the universe was a place of endless discovery, both outwardly and inwardly, aligning with the idea that the journey of understanding, as above, so below, is never complete. There is always more to uncover, more connections to see, more light to bring into our awareness. And in this endless journey, we find not only knowledge but also wonder, humility, and hope. The stars above may seem unreachable, but they are not so far away as we think. They are within us, reflecting our infinite potential and divine essence. And just as Bruno looked to the heavens for wisdom, so can we look within ourselves to find the same truth that we are part of something vast and beautiful, and that by understanding this connection, we can transform both our inner and outer worlds. When you gaze at the stars tonight, remember this: the same forces that hold the galaxies together flow through your veins. The same light that illuminates the heavens shines within you. And in this truth, there is freedom, power, and infinite possibility. But you might be surprised to learn that the idea of as above, so below doesn't only belong to ancient philosophies. It also finds a home in modern psychology. The Bobo doll experiment, for example, is a famous study that shines a light on how the behaviors we see in the world around us can shape the actions and attitudes we carry within ourselves. In this experiment, children were shown different types of behavior by adults interacting with a Bobo doll, a large inflatable toy that bounces back when hit. Some children watched adults act aggressively toward the doll, hitting it and yelling, while others saw adults treat the doll gently or ignore it altogether. Afterward, the children were left alone with the same doll. What happened next was revealing. The children who had witnessed aggressive behavior were far more likely to imitate it, while those who observed calm or indifferent behavior acted similarly. What does this mean for as above, so below? It highlights how the external influences we absorb can deeply affect our inner state and actions. The environment we live in, the examples we see, and the energy we allow into our lives mirror and mold who we become. If children in Bandura's study learned aggression by watching it, doesn't it follow that we too can learn kindness, resilience, or creativity by surrounding ourselves with those energies? This psychological finding parallels the Hermetic principle of correspondence. It's not just about the stars reflecting the soul or the universe mirroring the self. It's also about how the smallest interactions in life ripple outward and shape the greater picture. What we see, hear, and feel from our surroundings influences the choices we make and the patterns we live by. If the outer world is chaotic and negative, it can create that same chaos within us. But if we consciously choose to create a positive environment, it can lead to an inner state of peace and balance. Bandura's study also speaks to the power of awareness. Many of the children didn't even realize they were imitating the behavior they saw. It happened naturally without much thought. This lack of awareness can happen to us too. When we're surrounded by negativity or destructive behaviors, we might begin to absorb them unconsciously. The study also teaches us about responsibility. Just as the adults in the experiment shaped the children's actions, we have the power to influence others through our own behavior. If we want to see kindness, peace, and unity in the world, we must first embody those qualities ourselves. Our thoughts, words, and actions become the above that shapes the below in the lives of others. The microcosm of our individual actions reflects and impacts the macrocosm of our shared world. In this way, Bandura's findings are not just about children and a simple toy. They remind us that the human mind is deeply impressionable, and that our inner state can be molded by the external environment. Yet, we are not powerless in this process. We can choose to surround ourselves with beauty, wisdom, and positive influences, just as we can strive to be those influences for others. By doing so, we create a cycle of reflection, where both the inner and outer worlds uplift and inspire one another. Think of it this way. If every action is a seed planted in the soil of reality, what kind of garden do you want to grow? Do you want one filled with weeds of negativity and despair, or one blooming with flowers of love, harmony, and purpose? Bandura's experiment shows us that even small actions and examples can leave a lasting impact. Just as the stars above leave their impression on the earth below, by embracing this perspective, we take the first steps toward aligning our inner and outer worlds. When we become aware of the patterns shaping us and consciously choose to shift them, we step into the true meaning of as above, so below. It's not just a mystical saying or a distant idea. It's a guide for how we can live, love, and grow in every moment of our lives. The world becomes a mirror of who we are, and we in turn become mirrors of the world we wish to create. The Emerald Tablet, shrouded in mystery and wisdom, holds truth so profound that it continues to ripple through humanity's consciousness, offering glimpses of the universe's intricate design. The phrase, as above, so below, is not just a poetic musing, but a blueprint for understanding the interconnection between the macrocosm of the cosmos and the microcosm of our inner world. This principle reveals that the same forces shaping galaxies also shape the human spirit, a truth that carries immense implications for our collective awakening. The secrets contained within the Emerald Tablet suggest that humanity is not separate from the universe. It is an expression of it. Every thought, emotion, and action mirrors the greater forces at play in the cosmos. In this way, the microcosm of your daily life reflects the vast celestial movements of the stars, planets, and universal energies. This realization alone is transformative. It dissolves the illusion of separateness and invites us to view ourselves as co-creators in a divine symphony. Throughout history, this principle has found resonance in the teachings of mystics, sages, and philosophers. Consider the Taoist philosophy of Wu Wei, which translates to effortless action. It mirrors the idea that when we align our inner being with the natural flow of the universe, our actions become harmonious with the larger cosmic rhythm. This state of flow is not achieved through force or resistance, but through a deep understanding that what happens within us reflects the external world. The Taoists understood that our struggles stem from a misalignment with this universal order. To truly grasp what as above, so below means for humanity, we must explore its spiritual implications. Imagine that the stars themselves are an outward projection of the human soul, that their light is a reminder of the illumination we carry within. This idea finds echoes in the Hermetic principle of correspondence, which states that the patterns of the heavens are imprinted upon our very existence. The ancients believed that by observing the stars, they could understand not only the physical universe but also the inner workings of their spirit. One of the most intriguing aspects of this principle is its ability to unify science and spirituality. Quantum physics, for instance, reveals that the observer influences the observed, suggesting that consciousness itself plays a role in shaping reality. This scientific discovery aligns with the mystical truth that our thoughts and beliefs have a profound impact on the world around us. The microcosm of the atom reflects the same principles that govern galaxies, reminding us that the universe operates as one interconnected whole. The implications for humanity are profound. If we accept that our inner world influences the external, then healing and transformation must begin within. The chaos and division we see in the world today are a direct reflection of the collective inner turmoil of humanity. But this also means that by transforming ourselves, by aligning our thoughts, emotions, and actions with universal truths, we can create a ripple effect that transforms the world. This is not wishful thinking. It is the very essence of the Hermetic teachings. Take, for example, the ancient Egyptian concept of Ma'at, which represents truth, balance, and cosmic order. To live in harmony with Ma'at was to live in alignment with the divine principles that govern existence. This required not only personal integrity but also an understanding of one's role within the greater whole. The Egyptians believed that by upholding Ma'at in their lives, they contributed to the balance and harmony of the universe itself. This belief reflects the principle of as above, so below in action, the idea that the choices we make on an individual level resonate through the cosmic fabric. The Emerald Tablet goes further, suggesting that the understanding of this principle is the key to unlocking higher states of consciousness. It hints at the alchemical process of transmutation, where base elements are transformed into gold. But this process is not merely physical. It is a metaphor for the transformation of the human soul. By aligning our inner world with the truths of the universe, we begin to shed the limitations of ego and fear, allowing our divine essence to shine through. In this context, the phrase "as above, so below" becomes a call to action. It invites us to look within and ask, how are my thoughts and emotions shaping my reality? Am I living in alignment with the universal principles of love, truth, and harmony? The answers to these questions are not abstract. They are deeply personal and require a willingness to confront the parts of ourselves that are out of alignment. One powerful way to embody this principle is through meditation. When we quiet the mind and turn our awareness inward, we create a space for the wisdom of the universe to reveal itself. In these moments of stillness, we may come to understand that the same forces that move the stars also move within us. This realization is not just intellectually satisfying. It is spiritually liberating. It reminds us that we are not small or insignificant, but integral to the grand design of existence. In many indigenous traditions, this principle is celebrated through rituals that honor the interconnectedness of all life. For example, Native American ceremonies often involve offerings to the earth, sky, and spirits as a way of acknowledging the sacred relationship between humanity and the cosmos. These rituals serve as a reminder that our actions, however small, contribute to the larger whole. They teach us that by living in harmony with the natural world, we align ourselves with the universal order. As humanity faces unprecedented challenges, the teachings of the Emerald Tablet offer a beacon of hope. They remind us that the power to create change lies not in the hands of a few, but within each of us. By understanding and embodying the principle of as above, so below, we can begin to dismantle the systems of division and control that have held us back for centuries. This is not just a spiritual aspiration. It is a necessity for our survival as a species. The secrets of the Emerald Tablet are not meant to be hoarded or hidden. They are meant to be lived. They call us to remember that we are both the artist and the canvas, the dreamer and the dream. By aligning our inner world with the truths of the universe, we become agents of transformation capable of bringing about a new era of harmony and understanding. We're not isolated. Now let's try something. Look up at the night sky. Each star seems isolated, shining alone in the vast darkness. But the truth is something far more incredible. Every star, every speck of light is connected just as we are. We are not isolated beings moving through a random universe. Instead, we are woven into the very fabric of existence. Beautiful fractals reflecting the infinite complexity of the cosmos. This realization that we're forever linked is both humbling and empowering. Fractals are everywhere if you know where to look. These intricate patterns repeat themselves at every level of existence, from the branching of trees to the rivers carving through land, from the veins in a leaf to the blood vessels in our bodies. It's as though the universe has a signature, a blueprint it uses to create everything, including us. This isn't just poetic, it's scientific. The same mathematical patterns found in nature are reflected in our very DNA, making us mirrors of the cosmos itself. The interconnectedness of all things can be felt, not just understood. Have you ever walked through a forest and felt an unexplainable calm, as though the trees were sharing their ancient wisdom with you? That's not your imagination. Indigenous beliefs often speak of the earth as a living being, a mother who nurtures all her children. To walk upon her soil, to breathe her air, is to reconnect with the source that binds us all. The energy you feel in those moments is the same energy coursing through stars and galaxies. It's a reminder that you belong. This link between all things isn't just spiritual. It's deeply practical. Consider the butterfly effect, the idea that the smallest action can ripple outward, changing the world in unimaginable ways. A single smile, a kind word, or an act of forgiveness doesn't just affect the person receiving it. It creates waves of positive energy that flow far beyond what we can see. These ripples, like the patterns in a fractal, expand infinitely. When we recognize that our actions matter on such a grand scale, life takes on a deeper meaning. The philosopher Plotinus, who lived in the 3rd century, wrote about the idea of the One, a source from which all existence flows. According to him, everything emanates from this singular source and eventually returns to it. In this sense, we are like droplets of water, momentarily separate but always part of the infinite ocean. This understanding dissolves the illusion of separateness, reminding us that we are never alone. Even in moments of despair, the truth remains: we are intrinsically connected to something far greater than ourselves. The beauty of this connection lies in its simplicity. You don't need to perform grand rituals or climb mountains to feel it. Just pause and notice the world around you. Watch the way the wind moves through the trees or how the waves crash upon the shore. These moments, fleeting as they may seem, carry the essence of the universe's rhythm, and in that rhythm, you'll find yourself. When we begin to live with this awareness, everything changes. We start to see the sacred in the ordinary, the divinity in a sunrise, the miracle in a stranger's smile. Life becomes less about accumulating and more about experiencing. Less about competing and more about connecting. This shift in perspective doesn't just enrich our own lives. It ripples outward, influencing the collective energy of humanity. One of the most profound teachings that echoes this truth comes from the Lakota people of North America. Their phrase Mitikui Oyasin means all my relations, and is a prayer of interconnectedness. It acknowledges that everything, people, animals, plants, even stones, is part of one great family. When we hurt others, we hurt ourselves. When we honor others, we honor the universe within us. This truth, simple yet profound, is the key to healing the divisions that plague humanity. When we see ourselves in others, when we recognize that their joys and struggles are our own, compassion becomes inevitable. Through compassion, we begin to mend the broken threads of our collective tapestry. The fractal nature of the universe also speaks to the endless potential within each of us. Just as a single fractal pattern can grow infinitely, so can we. Our capacity for love, creativity, and transformation knows no bounds. When we tap into this potential, we align ourselves with the creative force of the universe. We become co-creators, shaping not just our own lives but the world around us. In the end, the realization that we are fractals of the universe is both a comfort and a call to action. It assures us that we are never alone, that we are part of something infinite and beautiful. But it also challenges us to live in a way that honors this truth, to act with kindness, to seek understanding, and to create beauty in all that we do. Because every action, no matter how small, reflects the greater whole. We are the stars looking back at themselves. We are the universe experiencing its own wonder. And in this eternal dance of connection and creation, we are forever linked, beautiful fractals shining with infinite potential. To truly embrace this connection, we must look within. Our thoughts, emotions, and intentions are not confined to our minds. They radiate outward, shaping the energy around us. This is why self-awareness is so powerful. When you cultivate love and compassion within yourself, you're not just healing your own heart, you're contributing to the healing of the collective. In this way, personal growth becomes an act of service to the universe. We are the stars looking back at themselves. We are the universe experiencing its own wonder. And in this eternal dance of connection and creation, we are forever linked, beautiful fractals shining with infinite potential. As within, so without. The world often teaches us to fear opposites. Light versus dark, good versus evil, heaven against hell. These ideas are framed as if they are in constant battle, with one destined to triumph over the other. But what if this isn't a fight at all? What if these opposites aren't enemies but partners, forever bound and intrinsically connected? This perspective changes everything. Suddenly, the light doesn't erase the dark, it defines it. Heaven doesn't condemn hell, it reflects it. The truth is that opposites don't destroy each other, they complete each other. This idea, as within, so without, invites us to see the world in a new way. It tells us that the external and the internal are mirrors, constantly reflecting back what exists within and without. Just as the sea mirrors the sky, our lives mirror our inner selves. The storms inside us stir chaos in our external world, while inner peace ripples outward, touching everything it encounters. This teaching isn't new. It echoes through time, whispered by sages and mystics who saw the unity in all things. The ancient Taoists understood this balance through the yin and yang symbol. At first glance, it looks like two opposing forces, one light, one dark. But look closer, and you'll see how they curve into each other, endlessly intertwined. Each holds a piece of the other within it, a small dot, a reminder that no force exists in isolation. Light isn't pure light. It carries the seed of darkness. Darkness isn't pure darkness. It holds the promise of light. Together, they create the whole. This is not a struggle, but a dance. Imagine a flame. It burns brightly, illuminating everything around it. But without the shadows it casts, we couldn't truly see its light. The two exist together, shaping our experience. This is the essence of as above, so below, and its lesser-known counterpart. As it is in heaven, so it is in hell. These phrases speak to the profound truth that opposites are not at war. They are reflections connected by an invisible thread. The story of Inanna, the Sumerian goddess, reveals this beautifully. Inanna was the goddess of love and fertility, reigning in the light of the heavens. Yet her journey wasn't complete without descending into the underworld, the realm of her dark counterpart, Archaeological. Stripped of her royal robes, Inanna faced her shadow self, learning the truth of her own power. When she emerged, she was transformed, not because she had defeated the darkness, but because she had embraced it. The heavens and the underworld weren't separate for her. They were parts of the same whole, one reflecting the other. This balance of opposites isn't just found in myth. It's etched into our very existence. Consider the cycles of life and death. One doesn't cancel the other. They sustain each other. A tree falls in the forest, its trunk decomposing into the earth, nourishing the soil for new growth. Death feeds life, just as night gives way to dawn. This rhythm, this eternal exchange, is the heartbeat of the universe. In our own lives, we often resist this truth. We cling to one side of the spectrum, believing that light is good and darkness is bad, that joy is valuable and pain is meaningless. But this denial creates division within us. We push away the parts of ourselves we don't want to see, hoping to live in perpetual light. Yet this only creates imbalance, a sense of emptiness that no amount of external success can fill. To truly understand the connection between opposites, we must turn inward. The pain we fear often holds the key to our greatest growth. The shadows we avoid contain the lessons we need most. This is the gift of as within, so without. When we face our inner darkness with courage, we transform it. It stops being something to fear and becomes a source of wisdom and strength. This inner work ripples outward, changing the way we see and experience the world. The alchemists of old spoke of this process as turning lead into gold. But this wasn't just about physical transformation. It was about spiritual evolution. The lead represented the raw, unrefined aspects of the self, the parts we see as ugly or undesirable. Through introspection and acceptance, these parts were transmuted into gold, the highest expression of the soul. This process required both light and darkness, heaven and hell, to work together. The alchemist couldn't reject one and embrace the other. They had to honor both as sacred. This truth is echoed in the Buddhist teaching of the middle way. The Buddha taught that extremes, whether indulgence or denial, lead to suffering. True freedom comes from balance, the recognition that opposites are not enemies but allies. To walk the middle way is to see the connection between all things, to embrace the duality of life without becoming attached to either side. In modern times, Carl Jung, the Swiss psychologist, expanded on this idea through his concept of the shadow. He believed that the parts of ourselves we repress don't disappear. They influence us in ways we don't understand. By acknowledging and integrating the shadow, we become whole. This process, which Jung called individuation, mirrors the ancient teachings of unity through duality. It reminds us that heaven and hell exist within us, not as opposing forces, but as complementary parts of the same soul. In the end, it is not the opposition between light and dark, heaven and hell, or joy and sorrow that defines us. It is the way we learn to dance with both, to see them not as adversaries but as two hands clasped together, creating something greater than the sum of their parts. Opposites are not here to be conquered. They are here to teach us wholeness. When we embrace the darkness within, we find that it holds a mirror to our light. When we welcome the trials of life, we uncover the treasures they were always meant to reveal. The flame cannot burn without the shadow it casts, just as the sky cannot shine without the vast dark space around it. In this balance lies the secret of our existence. The world may try to divide, to categorize, to pit one force against another, but the truth, as whispered by sages and reflected in myths, philosophies, and even the cycles of nature, is that unity is found in duality. As within, so without. As above, so below. As it is in heaven, so it is in hell. The threads that connect these opposites are not frayed. They are woven into the very fabric of our being. This understanding transforms the way we live. It allows us to meet life with grace, to find meaning in the moments that challenge us, and to recognize the beauty in the parts of ourselves we once feared. When we honor the connection between opposites, we move beyond division and into harmony, and in that harmony we find the divine.